Hi, today is Sunday, January 11th, and today we've experienced our very first outing in our civil rights pilgrimage throughout the Deep South today. This morning we woke up really early, around 6 a.m., and headed over to Ebenezer Church, which is in Atlanta, Georgia, where Martin Luther King used to preach. We heard an amazing sermon today. A great man gave a beautiful speech about living your life and following your path in life to where you want to go. And so it's beautiful to experience that in a historically black church and to feel the community there and to really be able to see that aspect of life being presented through the black community and to see how that strength from the church and really brought people together. So it was beautiful to see, and I'm so happy to have been a part of that. And then later in the day, we got to explore Martin Luther King's life and times by visiting the home of his birth, as well as his crypt alongside Coretta Scott King, and as well as the freedom schools where they taught young African students who weren't allowed to go back to their schools because they participated in the demonstrations. So it was a beautiful day. Martin Luther King being one of my favorite heroes in the world and somebody I admire a lot, who I modeled my own life after. It was pretty cool to see his life and see what he does. After that, we took about a 2-hour bus ride over to Birmingham, Alabama, where we visited the Civil Rights Museum, and that was an incredible experience as well, to be able to see some of the things that were happening back in the early 1950s and 60s, and to see just how horrible it was for people of color in this country, particularly in the South, and particularly those who were of African descent. Just to hear some of the comments of white folk on the TV screens to act as if racism was just an everyday occurrence and they didn't see anything wrong with what they were doing, and to see how some of the people that enforce some of those rules today even don't really see how what they did might have been wrong, like the former governor of Mississippi. And it was just a very interesting experience, and I absolutely loved this museum. It was beautiful, amazing, and they did such a good job about it. And right now I'm having an amazing time on this journey. It's incredible, it's life-changing, and it's really helping me understand something I've always been passionate about so much more. One of the things I learned the most in the last couple days is just to recognize that this movement was a movement of people. It wasn't just one or two people who did something. It was a whole group of people that sacrificed their lives, who sacrificed in many ways, from their life to their education to their jobs to their family life. They gave up a lot to be able to accomplish what they did, and it was a powerful thing. I also learned that this movement had something to do with youth. Youth really had played a huge role in when this movement was down and needed a reviving, and so it's incredible to see how young people have that capacity within them. And then finally, what I also learned a lot about leadership, in the sense that leadership is important, and if we have the opportunities to elect people who with poor decision making, such as Bull Connor and the governor of the South, and we have the opportunities to really elect people who are going to represent us, and not just us, but to be good leaders who's going to represent a whole plethora of people, and how that can really play critical parts in development of societies and cultures. So, very fascinating. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on tomorrow. Thanks a lot to the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire for letting me come along, and having a great time so far. Looking forward to tomorrow. We're on our way to Montgomery, Alabama, to explore a little bit of Rosa Parks, and hear what she's got to say. So, thank you.